The sweet silver song of love. Walk on through the rain. Walk on through the rain. For your dreams beneath us. I will go.
All right, the Reds. Welcome to our first weekend season review. Anyway, well, not season review, match day week 1. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this weekend's footy. And if you are new around here, want to keep up to date on all things Liverpool and football related content as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below to be an absolute cracking first week back into the Premier League campaign. Couple of big surprises which we'll discuss tonight. I want to know your obviously game of the weekend, your goal of the weekend, and obviously your players of the weekend. Really, doesn't have to be Liverpool players; could be a couple of managers as well if you want to pick them. But let me know how your weekend's been as well. I hope you have enjoyed it anyway. Let me know your thoughts on that little intro as well. Good evening, Jack. How was your day? Not too bad, Helen. Thank you very much. Even better with the results, which we'll discuss tonight anyway. How's everyone's? How you doing, Aaron? How's the City Cop? Made up to speak to you anyway, mate. Drop us a DM on Twitter. Anyway, I want to really speak to you. I haven't spoke to you in a while, but hopefully everything is good with you, mate. Keeping safe and well. Shay, good evening. How you doing, Shay? Hello, everyone. Yeah, we'll get straight into it. Into relation, we'll start with the first game of the weekend. Started on Friday, the 13th of August, and it was a big shock, a big crash bang wallop from Mikel Arteta's side. Anyway, Arsenal continuing the run of form, even though they did have a decent back end of the season last year. They probably finished one of the strongest teams in the Premier League last year, but it's back to reality really with Mikel Arteta. Really, I've spoke to a lot of Arsenal fans, a couple of my Arsenal mates. Really disappointing. Let me know your thoughts on the Arsenal game, everyone. Brentford, Liverpool's ex-academy protege, really Canos, the young Spaniard anyway. Yeah, I don't think he really featured for Liverpool's first team, but if you knew that, brownie points to you anyway. But it's great. Liverpool, a young Liverpool academy player, is very much applying his trade in the Championship, in which he has done last year, but going into the Premier League now and very much setting the Premier League alight with his goal. Fantastic strike, really. But Leno, you could question really his positional play, but I think it's just standard Arsenal. I was speaking to a couple of lads, a couple of Arsenal mates before on their live stream, and it's I used to watch a certain Arsenal side with the Invincibles when I was a young kid, the strong spine, the Tony Adamses, the Jens Leymans as well, David James, Campbell's, the Vieiras in the heart of midfield, the Batiste, the Thierry Henrys, the Dennis Bergkamps. That is not the Arsenal that we are looking at the minute. You've got a player who very much disrespected the armband in Granit Xhaka. The way in which they were offering him a contract. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. For me, that just smacks belief and shows how much turmoil there is at Arsenal Football Club. Because Arsenal are probably the third most successful club in the whole of England, really, in relation to, they are a massive club. Um, they're a long way from where they want to be, most importantly, really. But it's obviously turmoil with the boards, the management as well, and most importantly, the players. The players, frankly, aren't good enough to where Arsenal want to propel themselves, really challenging for league titles. As I said, I grew up on a great Arsenal side when I was a kid. They played football the right way, and they're a shade of what they used to be, really. Evening, Helen. Yeah, it was a really shock Arsenal getting beat. It was the first time Brentford had been in top flight Premier League anyway. Obviously, they haven't been in the Premier League since the rebranding in the early noughties, really. But 70 odd years since Brentford have been in top flight, and it's fantastic. That's what football's all about, really. Getting the new promoted sides. They absolutely. It wasn't just a case of Arsenal having a bad day at the office. They got absolutely outplayed, and Brentford deserve every plaudits. They were playing they were just literally walking through that Arsenal midfield. It's probably a lot easier that to do nowadays, but it was mad, really. Hello, Zuki, how you doing? Yep, Arsenal and City for the relegation low. Helen, I wouldn't put it past it anyway. Shay's gone with Ben White was shocking the other night. I tell you, like it's gonna take a lot in a Shay and Reds. It's gonna take so much in terms of analysing that Arsenal side, and Ben White is not the answer. When if you watch the game as well, Reds, or if you're a neutral watching the game, you sat there going, when we play Arsenal, we know exactly what to do. We've had a cracking record against Arsenal in recent years, especially at Anfield. Really, you just press them. Leno, when he gets the ball, it's like when we had Mignolet and Karius, really, in terms of their distribution, that they're so uneased when they do regain possession of the ball. If you're playing against Arsenal and Brentford, and that second goal, when the ball gets thrown in from a throw in, Carragher was absolutely wetting himself on commentary, really, and it's a sad reality, really. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans were having a go at Jamie Carragher, but it's true. Like the fact that the ball was able to get launched into the box, and you've not got one Arsenal defender, at least even the goalkeeper, to come out and collect that and just show a bit of leadership. Frankly, you're in the highest tier of English football, and the ball's getting thrown into the box. Yeah, if you're playing Stoke a couple of years ago, Tony Pulis, that was a massive weapon. But there's a lack of leadership, and Shay Ben White is not the answer. You can throw 50 million at he's not worth 50 million, but for me, it's all the pressure is going to be put on Ben White's shoulders. And frankly, that's not the case, really. It shouldn't be just down to Ben White. It's like us when before we got Virgil van Dijk and Alisson and obviously Robbo left back. The defence was built on strong foundations. Obviously, getting Fabinho in and getting Ali and getting Van Dijk in, getting Matip in the very early stages. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp developed those players, but Arteta just doesn't seem to very much have a clue in relation to his tactics and understanding. There's no blueprint, really. I don't. Let me know your thoughts on that, Reds, as well. Like for me, when I watch Arsenal, there's a no identity to the way in which they play football. Obviously, under Wenger, you know exactly how they wanted to play their brand of football, and when they were very successful in the very early stages, that Arsenal side, that Arsenal side years ago was phenomenal, and it had a solid structure, very similar to Liverpool in terms of a strong spine. You cannot build a foundation of a football club or a strong, successful club if you've not got a decent spine throughout the whole of your team. And that starts from your goalkeeper, your two centre backs, your DM, and obviously up and your striker as well, and midfielders if you are playing a quite narrow formation anyway, like your centre mids. But let me know your thoughts on that. Yeah, I'd say it was a shock that Brentford won Arsenal, but in reality, I think everyone said Arsenal would have got beaten in that fixture, and they very much did. Stu, how you doing, mate? I do appreciate it tuning in, mate. Hopefully you're having a lovely evening anyway. Really do appreciate all you tuning in. Just steering, Jack. Yeah, Shay's comments as well. Let me know your thoughts on all the games. We'll go through them as well. And spot on, Shay. Appreciate you dropping the comments and every single one of you, Helen, Stu, and all these. Arsenal's problem is the way the club is run. It's not the manager that is the problem. They are in serious trouble this year. Shay, it's mad, isn't it, mate, in relation to Arsenal. 1,000,000,000% there. It's crazy. How many managers have they had now? They've had Emre, obviously after Wenger, they've had Emre, Arteta, and am I missing someone else? I don't think I am, but probably am anyway. But yeah, you spot on there, Shay. There's clear no leadership at the top of Arsenal, and that trickles down to obviously the playing field as well. It's not just the Arsenal; it's City and Chelsea. Yeah, Jack, great win, but I think there will be a signing late on deadline day. Fingers crossed, Gary. Fingers crossed, Gary. Diego, how you doing, mate? Anyway, we just let us know, everyone. You don't have to be a Liverpool fan to drop in, and we do appreciate it, Diego. We were just talking about the Arsenal game. Let us know your thoughts on the Arsenal game. We've already discussed the Liverpool game in our post-match, but we'll move on to. So we got the Friday fixture and then the early kickoff of Manchester United winning a certain Leeds United 5-1. Let me know your thoughts on that game, Reds. The big talking points on that game was Paul Pogba getting a ridiculous 4 assists. He played very well. Not good to see, but you've got to admire. I think he only got registered 3 assists in the Premier League last year, Paul Pogba. And the fact that he's just blown that out the water now. I mean, he's entering the last 10 years, last 12 months, of his contract, Paul Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes looks like he's flying. Bielsa, do you reckon, everyone in chat, do you reckon Bielsa will stick to his tactics? And could that be very dangerous? You only have to look at in relation to Sheffield United, had a very positive first season in the Premier League, done great. It took everyone by really storm, and no one expected them to do as well. But then the following season, everyone learned the tactics of Chris Wilder and really understood how and when they play football, and you're seeing the impact in which it had on the second season. Do you think Leeds will have that a similar run of form in terms of Sheffield United? Never say never, but I tell you what, if Leeds don't sort the defensive issues, don't get wrong, they're a lovely side going forward. But the fact that I think United scored like 10 plus goals past them last year in the league, and they very much absolutely battered them. Leeds had chances, don't get me wrong. Obviously, was it Luke Ayling with the screamer to equalise really in relation to that, and then Man United just hit back so quick. But Shay's gone, hate to say it, but United looked hopefully good. Hopefully it's a one-off. Fingers crossed, Shay. But I tell you, if there'd be very much warnings really, if you're a United fan, if Ollie wasn't getting a performance and a tune out with that squad. Obviously, you've got Rafael Varane, he got announced before the game, and Sancho come on late on in the game, really. I think it was like 4-1 when he come on, but you've got a very talented squad, and frankly, if they're not challenging at least for the top 3, it's a bad season for Manchester United because you've got fantastic world-class players in that squad. It's whether they can be as consistent as they can do. Last time Arsenal were relegated was 1930, which Arsenal, they lost their opening 3 games in that season. Watch this space. Diego, let me know your thoughts on that, mate, as well. Very good start there, Diego. We were discussing the Arsenal game. Fair play to Brentford. Absolutely fantastic. It's great to see a positive. I tell you, they will surprise a lot of teams in the Premier League this year. Both them, Norwich. Obviously, Norwich give us a game. I know we beat them 3-0, but you were looking at them and you were like, they put in a very good performance, Norwich, against us, but cracking stat there, mate. Pogba's performance was world class. His friend Varane was watching on the touchline. Yeah, it's the frustrating aspect about Paul Pogba, isn't it? Really, he is a world class player, as much as Graham Souness hates to say it, but it's the consistent levels of Pogba, really, that if you're a United fan, you're frustrated because that game showed exactly what he does best in relation to obviously his attack, and he was confident on the ball, and he's got that world-class ability, but he doesn't showcase it as much as possibly. He can do it for France because he's got Paul Pogba alongside him, He's got N'Golo Kante next to him. Sorry, kind of another ball bugger. But he's Kante. And the one thing at United, when you look at their team, McFred or whatever he called them, Fred and McTominay anyway. I think it's getting the right balance in relation to their midfield, and if they can be positive this year, obviously they're adding Sancho to the wing anyway, whether they play a 4-2-3-1 or go with a 4-3-3 formation really. But Maguire and Varane, be interesting to see how they do get on in relation to this season. Can Varane have that desired impact? Leeds getting found out this season. They didn't change anything. The same tactics from Bielsa. They need to be careful. 1 second, everyone. Let the cat out. Yeah. But yeah. Let us know your thoughts, everyone, on Shay's comment there. Do you reckon Bielsa's side very much do need to change their approach? Because United, for as good as United played, they've played like that a lot against United for the last couple of times now, and they've got a couple of goals past them, but United just absolutely slice through them, and it won't be the first team to do that if they do continue. I know it's Bielsa's way, and it's positive, but you want to really get that right balance in relation to the tactics, really. Brentford's fans here were man on a match. Yeah, it was cracking there, Diego. I think I've seen an image. I'll try and get it up on my next episode, but there was a lovely image of the Brentford fan. He must have been about in his 70s or 80s, and he was crying his eyes out. And it was fantastic to see, because that's what football is all about. It's been a very difficult 18 months for every single fan, and obviously everyone in the UK and around the world. But we know how important football is to so many people. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, mate. Even Jack, would love to see the big signings by as it stands. I think Jürgen wants to give Curtis and Harvey a proper chance to establish themselves. If Naby and Ox can still be okay. Yeah, very much so, mate. It's young players and stepping up. Fabian and everyone, let me know your thoughts. We're just discussing a Premier League review. We've already spoken about the amazing performance from Brentford. Just discussing the Man United Leeds approach, really, from Bielsa and how good Man United were. It'd be interesting to see if they can be as consistent as possible going into this new season. Let me know your thoughts. Liverpool fans singing "Si Senor" after Bobby scored. They turned Carrow Road into Anfield for a bit. Yeah, it's amazing, Shane. The amazing away fans. It's always wherever they go in Europe, wherever they go in England, and not just Liverpool, but amazing away fans. Probably the best away support, like the best atmospheres in terms of football, is possibly generated from the majority of the away fans. I tell you, like some of the best atmospheres when I've been to an away game, and it's mad. The away fans are a different breed of amazing. It's fantastic. Joe, what's your thoughts on who's that? Jack, what's your thoughts on Bezos? I'm not too sure if that is, mate. I don't even know if they're players or whatnot. Bielsa have a few players injured at the moment, I believe. Yeah, I think due to obviously COVID and all that, mate. How you doing, lads? Cyber leader, Jack. Will you still take Bowen after today's performance by him? Well, I think it was on record speaking to you, mate, over the last couple of days. He's a very good player, and today's performance is no surprise. And I think if that rumoured reports over the last couple of weeks have been Liverpool have had keeping an eye on him, it very much highlighted the fact if Antonio does get injured for the Hammers this year, then Bowen is very capable of leading the line for West Ham, and that'd probably explain the performance in which Antonio put in. But if West Ham don't put a bid in for another striker, then obviously David Moyes is under that understanding, really, of playing him up front, and he's fully capable. And the fact is that is if the truth does come out that Liverpool were looking at Bowen as a potential transfer, then he's very capable of playing on the left, on the right, and obviously through the middle as well. And plus, he's only 24. For me, he's grew on me, and I can understand if it did come out that Liverpool were officially going after Bowen. It make all sense. He fits the Jurgen Klopp profile and Michael Edwards profile of a footballer, really very similar to Jota, really, in terms of the way in which he plays football. I think Jota's got a bit more quality about him, but in relation to the way the ability to play across the line, yeah. Brentford like my second team because my uncle down from South's been talking about Brentford since League One, and don't know they're here. Yeah, it's spot on there, Joe, and it's fantastic. It's great to see. Obviously, Leeds were in League One, and then obviously the Championship for a very, very long time, really, and it's great to really see. As I said, Brentford were last in the top flights 70 odd years ago, and they're back here now in the big time. I'm pretty sure Brentford were in the playoffs the season before last, and I think they got beat as well, which was sad. Also, do you think Lingard will sign for West Ham? And do you think it would be a good in Europe if we get him? I don't think does Lingard want to come to West Ham, mate? I know it makes sense for his career opportunities because he's guaranteed first team opportunities at the Hammers, really, but. You should be good in Europe, mate. Obviously, with David Moyes, from a defensive point of view, if you set up well, European competitions are all about counter-attacking as much as you can, and I think David Moyes will be sound there. Take care, everyone. Have work early in the morning. Come on, the Reds. Nice one for that, Shay. Have a lovely evening, mate. Really do appreciate you tuning in. Absolute legends. I'll speak to you tomorrow, matey. Yeah. Take care, Shay. Absolutely spot on there. Yes, boss. How you doing, Sean? Nice one for tuning in, mate. Absolute legend. Carragher cheering with the Brentford fans was brilliant viewing. Yeah, it definitely was. Diego. We talked about the Man United one. I think the Burnley game, Burnley were winning 1-0. And obviously Brighton and Graham Potter very much changed the whole tactical game and aspect, really, with the substitutions were great. Let me know your thoughts on Brighton, everyone. I think Graham Potter is probably one of the most underrated managers in the whole of the Premier League. So have a quick look who scored for Brighton. Obviously Neil Maupay and then Alex Malster, really. And I think who got man of the match? Oh, Roberto Sanchez as well, the Brighton goalkeeper. And obviously Rob got the assist and Jacob Mudder. So yeah, he changed it in the about five minutes. They were getting beat. Obviously Brighton scored in the 73rd and then scored in the 78th. So a very much change in terms of the substitutions paid dividend, really. They were so important. So it highlights how important substitutions are, and that's when you look at Liverpool and obviously all the other top sides, really, in the Premier League. You look at your bench and you're looking at your manager, really. Do you want them to change the game? Because substitutions, that Brighton game, if you watch it on Match of the Day, those substitutions were absolutely spot on there, really, in terms of how much they changed the game. And then we'll go on to the Chelsea game in a little second here, Reds, and everyone in chat. I was just going to link it. I will anyways. Would you guys take Declan Rice on your team? No, due to the fact that we've got Fabinho, mate. He's a very good player. I was speaking to you a couple of weeks ago, when mate, he's a cracking player, very good player. And if West Ham are to go far in Europe and go far as a team in the Premier League this year, I think Declan Rice would be massive. I know a lot of people don't rate him, but what I've seen in the Euros, the partnership with him and Phillips, I think in a 2DM formation, like a 4-2-3-1 for England. And if you put him alongside a more technical gifted player that is able to go forward, and you just have Declan sitting, but not currently, mate. Obviously, we've got Fabinho, but I think he'd be very good for Man United, for example. I think he'll do very well. I can't lie, Brighton winning damaged my weekend. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't tell me you had the money, Yaka, mate. Got a season ticket for this season. £700, a joke. Don't know where I'm sitting, but £700. You planning on going to get any games, Jack? Yeah, well, I will be this season, mate. Obviously, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm not too sure what games I'm going yet, but we'll have to gauge which ones we are, though. Can't wait. Just noticed Boss was in the title. What a trip. Oh, I'm not too sure what you're on about there, Sean. Appreciate it anyway. Obviously, Chelsea 3-0 winners against Crystal Palace. Diego, what happened here, mate? Explain what really happened. I was watching on Match Today, didn't watch the whole game anyway, but did Crystal Palace deserve it? Vieira, yeah. I think if you watch my review show, mate, on the Premier League predictions, I had Crystal Palace to go down due to the fact of only the manager, Roy Hodgson. He didn't play the best football at Crystal Palace, but he got a job done, really, and it's going to be difficult to see unless Vieira turns it around when he was managing in Ligue 1, really. I think it was Lille or Nice or one of the French teams anyway. He had a terrible, terrible record in relation to keeping them. I think he got sacked after a couple of weeks anyway. It didn't last that long in the job. It'd be interesting. The Premier League is not a forgiving league if you get found out in a couple of weeks. But it was Pulisic and Marcus Alonso obviously got the free kick, really, and Kovacic, Chalobah, I think is a young Chelsea academy player. That strike was, I don't even know how that even went in. That should have been getting closed down, but I think he got man of the match as well. Trevor Chalobah, apologies, can't really, but the young lad, you know what I mean, for Chelsea's third goal. Cracking strike, really, in relation to that. And then let me know your thoughts. So Connor, who was long known from Chelsea, was unable for Pat. I'm looking forward to see Connor feature against Brentford. It's mad that it's the rule now in the Premier League. Really, you can't play your players against the parent club, which makes sense. But I think some teams, Diego, can allow the player to play against them, but obviously Chelsea know of his ability and probably said, no, we don't really want to play. But yeah, Salah, baby. Good night, Jack. Cheers, Helen. Really do appreciate you tuning in. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll be a bit more earlier on tomorrow. But yeah, let's go into the Wolves and Leicester game now, really. Jamie Vardy, it was a bit of a cagey affair, really. I was really impressed from what I've seen on Match Today with Wolves' new manager, the ex-Benfica manager. I don't think Daka really played for Leicester. He very much didn't, but Ricardo Pereira done very well down the byline. Lovely nutmeg on the Wolves defender anyway, and just pushed past it to the Jamie Vardy on the front post. It's going to be an interesting season for Leicester, innit, everyone? It's going to be difficult, really, to see them possibly getting into Europe, but they're fully capable, like we've seen over the last 2 seasons, really, in relation to them bottling top 4 yet again. But it's going to come down to injuries. Fafana would be a massive miss, but they've signed Vestergaard from Southampton, and so it's going to be interesting to see how Rodgers does approach this. It was a very cagey game from both sides, but at the end of the day, it's all the 3 points that matter. I think Leicester fans would take 1-0 from every single one of their next 10 league games if it meant them all getting 3 points. But Kasper Schmeichel very much did get man of the match for them. So that just highlights how important he was against Wolves. Our starting lineup was the same as that faced Watford in the previous friendly. Chelsea's performance was very good. Respect where it's due. Have a lovely evening, Alan. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, spot on there, lads. And then we've talked about, and just a final one really. The Everton one was good. They won 3-1. They were behind to Southampton, and it could have been a different complexion really for everyone in Goodison Park, but they got their goals. Rafa Benitez, he'll do very well at Everton, but it depends if he gets the time from the supporters, really. But yeah, and then the Aston Villa and Watford game really, Reds as well. That was Aston Villa versus, where is it? Aston Villa versus Watford, newly promoted side. We've talked about Brentford coming into the Premier League and making a statement, and Watford very much did do that in relation to their Hernandez was probably one of the goals of the weekend. If we had to pick one, that is definitely my goal of the weekend in relation to that. Sarr getting on the score sheet, and Dennis, he's played in the Champions League. He stormed off for Club Brugge. If you know that story, you'll understand what I'm saying. But it was a massive result, especially Aston Villa. Danny Ings scoring on the 97th minute, getting their second goal, and John McGinn with the first goal. Looked like they possibly come back, but there wasn't enough time really on the stopwatch. I'll be back in 7 minutes. There you go. Right, but yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Aston Villa game there. Watford, Dennis did get man of the match there as well. Rafa will organise the Everton squad. I reckon he should do, mate. I think he'll do a decent job. I know a couple of the my Everton mates weren't too pleased, Diego, seeing him coming in at Goodison Park, really. But he's a very good manager. He's very good tactical. I think even Arsenal, if they didn't have Arteta, I think Arsenal would have been in a decent position if they very much give 18 months to Rafa Benitez. Rafa would sort Arsenal Football Club out. Let's put it that way. And obviously we talked about a bit about West Ham having a great win for them, 4-2 winners. Newcastle were winning 2-1 anyway, but West Ham fantastic. Antonio got man of the match. He scored, assisted, missed a pen, and he was very much involved in everything good that West Ham done today. I think he's one goal off beating Di Canio's Premier League record for most goals scored for a West Ham player, which is fantastic. Just shows how important Antonio is to West Ham United. So he had them winning, which was a bit mad. Callum Wilson and Jacob Murphy, really. I thought St. James's Park, it was booming. St. Maximum today was phenomenal. Great player to watch, but West Ham, give them credit, showed a lot of grit, determination anyway. See you later, mate. Appreciate you tuning in. Absolute legends. Have a lovely evening, mate. Moyes halftime team talk. Hit the button, I reckon. Yeah. He's tired. Mitchell. Yeah, very much. He's done so much. Antonio. So we talked about West Ham. And then the final one, really, we'll discuss. It was the big one. Tottenham, Manchester City. Will Pep Guardiola throw another 150 million at Harry Kane? It was a great performance by Tottenham. Nuno does know how to play against Man City. Obviously, when he was in charge of Wolves had I think they won a couple of times at the Etihad, really. So his performance didn't really shock me. He had the team set up very well, very defensive, as you would expect. But moments in that game they were breaking through that Manchester City defence far too easy. And on another day, if they took the chances, Tottenham could have been 2-3-0 really. But Son, very much a worthy man of the match performance from him. So for me, well, City, if it was last year or the year before, he had a shocking start to the season, and you see how well they went. But I think if you Pep Guardiola, he'll probably whack another £150 million on a player and expect to get him. But massive result from Tottenham, and I think the writing will be on the wall. You could see the City players today were very much arguing with each other, and the sheer disruption between the squads as well was so evident. But yeah, interesting results that, Reds. But thank you very much to every single one of you for tuning in. Everyone, have a lovely rest of the evening, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode. You'll never walk alone, Reds, and we'll see you later. Ta-ra.